Hello everyone, my name is Logan ISL, and welcome back to another video. I have not been able to say that for almost 6 months now. Yeah, it's basically been no secret that ever since March, I kind of basically disappeared from the YouTube space and kind of vanished with little to no explanation. So today, I am finally going to give you the answers you seek, why I've been gone for so long, and how I plan on entering back into YouTube again, and what is the future for this channel. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and get to explaining. So, why did I leave? Well, it was kind of a snowball that was slowly ever building since Ring 9 back in 2021. All the way back in March, April was when it was starting. But it was in March 2022 when the snowball finally crashed the wall and I finally said I had enough. Doing the type of content I do is extremely difficult, and sometimes it's also extremely stressful. Having a very sensitive community that can very easily blow up, and somebody who makes content that can blow up the community, is not something that unfortunately mixes very well. So I've had very difficult complications for many different reasons. This is why I always highly urge people to not do the type of content I do, because if you don't know what you're doing, or have the connections, you can easily get into some huge trouble. Plus, because I talk to many different people in the community, sometimes I would be handed down information that I wasn't supposed to know, which is a whole other problem when you're making videos of future areas and you can't easily find out what information you know is public and what is private, because the bar for private information is genuinely really low. During Zone 7's development when I was gone, I actually got told by somebody that the outside floors of Coat, that Cat put a frame around them to increase the floor count by 3. That person was not in the staff team, and I was then later told, 2 days later, that information was actually private, and I shouldn't have known about it. So when the bar is that low, it is definitely very scary, and I do not want to find out what the staff and devs think is major. I have talked about this to staff and devs multiple times, but it seems like little to nothing is done about it, as I continue to see situations unfold publicly of mainly developers getting overly sensitive about information that people got told that is extremely trivial and not harmful at all in my eyes, like knowing how well their towers did in polls. However, recently, it hasn't been that bad, but when Zone 8 comes along in development, we will really see how things really are going to go. I am not afraid to admit that definitely quite a few times I got the staff team upset with me because of my content. And when information is so tightly grasped in there, it's very difficult sometimes to find out what and who is telling you the truth, as sometimes there is conflicting information. And considering how the bar for secret information can be super low, I was and still am when I get into these situations too scared to talk about it to other staff and developers about it, or even friends, because I'm too scared about getting other staff members in trouble. The best way I can put it is when I get into troubling situations, I am a one-man team. I go ahead and deal with everything completely by myself. And after the staff team failed to communicate something to me for 8 months when I constantly asked and told them that they could communicate with me when they have an issue, I finally had enough. An old series on my channel called Bad Tower School was basically a little bit too far for the community. While me and Light attempted to try and modify it after the fall of the first episode to try and suit the community better, the staff team wasn't taking it, and respectively so. Sometimes I feel like the staff team expects me to be in the JTO Discord and monitoring the community all the time, which isn't something that I can do. After this situation occurred, when I was told that the staff did not like the series at all 8 months after it first premiered, I talked to a staff member about it, and they told me the blurred out image teaser me and Light made for episode 3 was causing JTO discussion to be a massive war zone, which I had never ever known about until this staff member told me. I had no idea this was going on. So, when all this happened, I kind of just finally decided that after that situation happened, that I was going to put my foot down and try to get these matters straight. And while I've attempted and wanted to come back for a while, I have had numerous complications which I'll talk about in a second. While I would say there are definitely some issues left, they are as good as they're going to get. It is not respectful for me to assume that everything will ever be perfect. They won't. Every staff team in every game has its problems, and I understand that. I do not ever expect everything to be flawless. I definitely believe and hope that the staff team will be more open and more communicative to me. There's only one way to find that out though, and that's getting back into making videos again. I do not want anyone to harass the members of the staff because of what I've been through, or because of anything I've said. I didn't want to say or make a lot of this stuff public, but I want people to understand and see what I've been going through. It's not okay for me to just come back and just say nothing. I need to be transparent. I know that I talked about that there would be a potential sequel to Bad Tower School. However, now that I am in college, I do not have time to do any such thing anymore. Hence that this is basically never going to happen. I have plans to do something kind of like it, but I don't know if I will ever go through with it. It's one of those things that we will just have to sit and wait and see. But there will be no successor series with Light. That much I do know for a fact though. With my schedule, it would basically be impossible for me and him to work together on stuff anymore, sadly, due to time zone constraints. But why did I just randomly upload a video in May, and it just vanish again when I said I'd hope it'd be back? Well, the thing is, I have wanted to upload multiple videos multiple times. They were just not turning out well, which made me lose motivation, so I stopped again. One of those was Push to Terrifying, which is something that's going to have its own section later. The previous months I had multiple video ideas, but some of them were far too controversial for me to even consider even trying to make a stab at them. So no content was basically made at all. However, recently, I made a decision which I'm now going to talk about in a little bit, which is going to finally help me get back into the content creation sphere. But a couple weeks ago, and it might even be a month now, I said I was going to be coming back very soon. However, there were two reasons why that never happened. The first and main reason why I will talk about in the next segment. The second and just as important reason though, is shortly after that, let's just say that college and my friendships went dead south, and I was losing people and groups of friends left and right. And considering I only trust a super slim amount of people to talk about certain topics like college, when I then inevitably was losing them because of how I was mentally, then it seemed like I was possibly going to lose my best friend. I panicked extremely hard, and I was basically hoping and praying to make it to Thanksgiving break to sit down and deal with all these situations. Thankfully, I was able to. While stuff isn't perfect, at least things are going okay now. One thing that absolutely did not help though, was people constantly asking me when I was going to upload again. I would sometimes talk in JTO discussion to get my mind off of things and struggles that I had, then just get reminded that I should be doing way more work than what I am already doing, was not what I was wanting to feel. So if you ever see me talking anywhere, please do not ask me about my videos, because you do not know what I am doing. I could be talking to get away from other things. I am human, and I have my own mental limits too. And while I may not be very expressive, or highly explain them, please just note that I do have my own problems. Well, this section is basically all about Push to Terrifying, because that's how I'm going to be coming back. But don't get your horses yet. It's likely not what you're going to like hearing. So here's the thing. If you're somebody who isn't into JTO Discord, or follow my Twitch, this is going to be an absolute newsflash for you. I still commonly get asked if I've beaten Alien Radiance, and today is finally the day where I address it to all of you. Yes, I did beat Alien Radiance. I beat Tower of Alien Radiance on September 28th, 2021. I beat Alien Radiance literally over a year ago. So now I'm sure you guys are going to ask, then why aren't the videos out yet? You literally beat it a year ago. Yeah, I still have the footage, it's only taking up 158 gigabytes of space on my computer. Only. But the issue is, editing Alien Radiance for me has always felt like an extreme pressure to me. This is the end of a very beloved series that people have been hyped for, so I felt so pressured to make sure that the videos were of top quality. And that's the problem, it's basically impossible. My mental state when I was grinding Alien Radiance was not good at all. At the time, I was suffering with calculus in high school, which really tore my mind apart already to deal with, and the footage for Alien Radiance is so stale, and I was so hyper-focused on beating the tower that I was never in voice calls, meaning that when I was talking, it was when I failed. But when I was in voice calls, because of the copyrighted music in Alien Radiance, I had my desktop audio off, so you can't even hear the calls. So I was just talking to a wall. It was a complete and absolute mess that was basically unusable. I did not want to edit a massive fail compilation again, but out of the 22 hours or so of footage that was there, that's all I can make out of it. I tried multiple times, but every time I just couldn't be happy with how it was turning out. So I stopped every single time. I just said to myself, when I have more motivation and when I'm better at editing, I will give it a shot. But now, that's been a year later, I do not think that day will ever come. So unfortunately, I do have some sad news. Push to Terrifying is ending, but not the way you probably wanted it to. And considering the footage and the way it is, I really feel like this is the best I can do. I am going to upload Alien Radiance as the finale to the series, but show my tower completion, share my experience with it, close the series off, and edit there. Do not worry, I will make sure that the series is sent off well, and even have the original planned ending for it. But now that it's been over a year later since I've beaten Alien Radiance, my views and perspectives on the game have changed. The original reason why I did Push to Terrifying was because I wanted to end off my skill ladder as a player. I didn't want to be too good at the game, but be good enough to where I was satisfied, so I chose Terrifying skill level to cap myself off. But now, I am in college. I don't have the time to grind towers as much, so who cares if I can finish Insanes in a matter of a couple hours or even under an hour anymore? And with how busy I am, that's probably for the better. So I do not care about capping myself off intentionally. And with Pit of Misery and JTOW and CSCD exists now, even though I'm not a big fan of CSCD, the possibility of never having anything to do is literally impossible. So now I feel more comfortable going further. A sequel to Push to Terrifying may be in order. But like I said, I did Alien Radiance a year ago. I am a much better player now than you think if you haven't seen my Twitch or talked in JTOW discussion. My hardest isn't astronomically aimless annoyances like it looks anymore. In fact, I have now beaten 3 Terrifying towers. Indeed, 3 of them. I am also working on my first catastrophic tower as I am speaking. And by the time the other videos that come out, which I'll explain in a little bit, there's a slim chance I could have done it already. So yeah, I know that this is gonna come out as a surprise for some people. However, there's only one problem. Remember when I said in the previous segment that there were 2 reasons why I didn't come back after that post? Well, it's because there's something I want to do for the finale of Push to Terrifying, but I don't know how to do it. It isn't as simple either as grabbing a tutorial, so I need to learn from someone else. The problem is, time zones exist. Due to college, I never could be up at the same time as them, so basically nothing is done in that respect. In terms of me coming back, I am going to be uploading the finale to Push to Terrifying whenever that gets done. I do not know how long that will take, but I hope within a month. It just depends on how the final 2 weeks of college go. And tower completions of the other 2 Terrifyings I have beaten, I will upload those after Push to Terrifying is done, because I do not want to confuse people. I know you guys would rather have hour-long highlights, but the thing is, for one of them, the strings for it no longer exist because they've been deleted automatically because I did that tower in March. And for the other, there's 30 plus hours of footage for me to look through, and it's all of me being in a crappy mood. So I don't really feel like editing that down into a highlight video, it'd just be crappy to watch. Take these other 2 completions as an update. They're not necessarily meant to be entertaining or fun to watch, but more as an FYI to those who don't know where I am at in the game, because I never wanted to show my other completions until Alien Radiance was done, because people would assume I did those towers first before Alien Radiance. So, where do we go from here? Well, here's the thing. I know most people subscribe for my JTOW vlog content and upcoming area predictions and things like that. I am known for my more unique types of videos rather than just content like tower guides and whatnot. However, those videos take a super long time to produce. When I am in college, that is something that isn't possible. Hence how the future is going to work. When I am in college, I'm going to be doing kind of more lazy content. That doesn't mean the videos won't be interesting though. I am talking about stuff like stream highlights and gameplay videos. So hence, for example, videos like the KOTOR first impressions I will be doing. When I am on break and not in college, stuff like JTOW Flawed will show up. Videos that require scripting, tons of planning, and whatnot. So basically, that's how it's going to work. During college, my focus on this channel won't be high, Instead, I will be doing more concentration on Twitch streams and playing towers and doing grinds instead of making videos. So if you see me go ahead and not upload for another couple of months, I'm not gone. I'm just focusing on other things until I'm back. So, you will hear me talk about this a lot and drive it into the dirt the next couple of videos. If you want to see me do tower grinds and be up to date so you don't think my hardest is AAA anymore, then you need to watch me on Twitch, because I don't do community posts or updates until I post a video that I beat something. The link is on screen, the username is the same as it is here, Logan_ISL, and if you follow me, you'll get a notification when I go live. And I go live randomly, depending on when I'm awake. So even if you're Australian, I will definitely stream at some point during your time zone. If you want to go ahead and help me out financially, I now have affiliate, meaning you can cheer bits and subscribe to the channel. For YouTube members, sometime soon I want to discuss about revamping how memberships work, so prepare to hear that. And well, there you go. Look out for a community post sharing the date of the finale of Push to Terrifying, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And if I finish my first catastrophic tower soon, we might have 3 tower completions, mainly for an update. I know these won't be great videos, but when you're a year behind, you have to somehow let everyone know where you are. A massive and huge shout out to all of my members who continued through their memberships while I was gone. I cannot go ahead and thank them enough for the huge support and very kind help. And well, my name is Logan_ISL, and I hope soon I'll be able to go ahead and present to you the finale of the Push to Terrify. And until then, my name is Logan_ISL once again, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye bye.